Hello! As you may know, Fallout New Vegas Day took place over this last weekend in Goodsprings, Nevada. An event for New Vegas and Fallout fans alike to meet up and celebrate the masterpiece that is Fallout New Vegas and the community that formed around the game. Whether you're Caesar's Legion, NCR, or a Radroach, all are welcome and your company is greatly appreciated. The more the merrier. This weekend was absolutely amazing. I would like to tell you all about this event, my personal experience and opinions, and some expectations for next year as well as some recommendations. So let's go back to Saturday, November 11th. I got up at 4 AM and was hoping to show up a little early to maybe get an interview in with Gordy, aka Easy Pete. I did get a short interview with him, but that was later on. I ended up arriving in Goodsprings at about 9:30 AM, and there was already a huge line forming outside the general store. I believe there was a little confusion as this was supposed to be the line to purchase a bottle of sarsaparilla, but I think people were lining up under the assumption that this was the admissions line or something. Walking around the left side of the general store, you find yourself in the marketplace. Vendors set up stalls with all kinds of awesome props for sale. I got myself this Mentats tin, which I later had signed by Gordy. It went along well with my lab coat. After all, what good is a wasteland scientist without a crippling Mentats addiction?
Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho.
After strolling around the marketplace for a while, I decided to walk around the other side of the saloon. Although I had visited Goodsprings a couple of times before, I've never explored the back patio. There was quite a bit of room back here. A stage, lots of shaded seating, and a large kitchen attached to the back of the general store. Keep this in mind for later. After my quick little tour around the back of the Prospector's Saloon, I found myself in the middle of a massive crowd of fellow Fallout fans. So many amazing cosplays, and some of the coolest people I've ever met. All of a sudden the crowd started moving, and I was handed a pamphlet. Looks like we're going on a tour of the town. The group was led by Old Man Liver, up to the Goodsprings Schoolhouse, the real-life equivalent of the shared townhouse, and then we looped down and around to the front of the Prospector Saloon. During the tour, I met that Fallout guy who was dressed up as Joshua Graham. This man has a ridiculous Fallout collection, and is particularly skilled in making you jealous. If you want to check him out, I'll leave his Instagram and TikTok in the description. His collection is so impressive that Bethesda decided to give him an affiliate link for 20% off the Bethesda's gear store, also in the description. He also brought a drone and kindly shared his footage with me. Thanks, man. That Fallout guy and I hung out for a while and talked with other fans of the series. People from all over were making their way to Goodsprings to celebrate. A couple of our new friends came all the way from Ireland. After enjoying some live music and chatting it up with others, the two of us walked through the side gate to the NCR tent, and to my surprise, TKS Mantis was set up right there. He was handing out free stickers and taking lots of pictures with people. After meeting Mantis, I decided to get some food. The line had gotten pretty long and was moving quite slow. After about 2 hours, I made it to the cash register and ordered a Radroach sandwich, Brahmin steak bites, and a Wastelander shake. Yes, I was very hungry. Unfortunately, I don't think Goodsprings was expecting this heavy of a load on the kitchen. It took about another hour for me to get my food after ordering, totaling to about a 3-hour wait. We'll talk about this more towards the end of the video. After getting my food, I went back to Mantis' table, and he was kind enough to let me sit with him, his wife, his cousin, and a couple others. All wonderful people. After a while, I asked one of the other people at the table about YouTube content creation, and he said, yeah, I make YouTube videos too. He tells me to look up the Epic Nate 315. Oh, come on. These guys are way too chill. Seriously, the Epic Nate and TKS Mantis are two of the kindest people I have ever met, and they let me interrogate them for hours on YouTube related topics. After a good while, we decided to call it a night. People were heading back to their hotels, home, or just to sleep in their car in the parking lot. I mean, hey, that's what I did. After a decent night's sleep, I woke up with burning eyes and chapped lips. The air here is seriously dry, and if you're used to a more humid climate, you're gonna want to make sure you stay hydrated and have some chapstick, maybe some lotion. And also, although the weather was decently cool, the sun is still strong and bright. I recommend glasses and maybe some sunblock if your skin is on the more sensitive side. After getting some hydration, I grabbed some breakfast. You can order either from the Fallout themed menu or the Pioneer Saloon's regular menu. I went with the Pioneer's breakfast plate with toast, sausage, eggs and bacon, along with an order of flapjacks. This paired with a nice cup of coffee really set the mood for the day, and I was ready for day 2 of the New Vegas celebration. My new buddy Mullet Boy pulled up and let me ask him a few questions. After the interview, we walked around the market for a bit, and then I talked to Gordy and got some interesting responses from him. Then I ended up hanging out with Mantis, Nate, and Nate's buddy Anakarite, who is heavily involved with the wiki. It was so cool getting to meet them. The sheer number of times I've used the wiki, becoming friends with one of the people responsible for making it what it is, was a true privilege. Later on, Mantis headed up onto the stage to host the costume contest, and it was quite a show. Most of the cosplays were absolutely impressive. The winner, however, was next level. Nikki Avery Lay on Instagram cosplayed Christine and stole everyone's hearts. I feel Christine as a character doesn't get the attention that she deserves, but Nikki full sent the role. I didn't hear a single word come out of their mouth, and all communication was non-verbal body language and gestures. Such a good cosplay, you deserve that win. After the costume contest, Mantis and Nate were kind enough to invite me to dinner. As someone who watches their content on a regular basis and shares passion for the same game, I had the time of my life. John, Nate, Mantis, Anakarite, Britt, James, you guys made my weekend. I can't be more thankful for the time you decided to spend with me, and getting to talk about YouTube with some of the greats really inspired me. I can't wait to do it all again next year. That being said, what do I think of the event itself? The good, the not so good, and expectations for next year? I'm going to start with a couple of negatives. Although things ended up working out eventually, there were some organization flaws with the lines. The line for food, the general store, and the Gordy meet and greet table all sort of converged in one area. It was difficult for people who were hungry waiting in line for 30 minutes just to find out they were in line for another signature from Gordy. Don't take it the wrong way. We love you, Gordy, but a wastelander's gotta eat. I also think that Goodsprings will have to redesign their cook line layout for next year. The wait times were quite long, but in the grand scheme of things, the wait for food was such a minor inconvenience compared to the awesome time I was having. I honestly don't feel like I have room to complain. Goodsprings also handled it like a champ. If I recall correctly, last year saw about 200 to 300 people. I heard rumors that this year they were expecting about a 3 times increase, making for about 600 to 800 people, but closer to 3,000 people ended up stopping by Goodsprings this time. If that's true, then the people of Goodsprings did an absolutely fantastic job of adapting to the situation. On day 2, there were better line guides directing people to where they need to be, and it seems like the food line was just moving a lot quicker. The people in the kitchen and general store did an amazing job handling the situation. If you've ever worked in the food industry, then you know how stressful it can be. Let's cut them all some slack. They probably got way more orders than they were expecting. Besides that, in the dry climate, I can't think of any downsides to Fallout New Vegas Day. As for expectations and recommendations next year, I know I definitely want to bring a couple of friends, and I'm sure others will too. If this year hit 3,000, I think somewhere around 5,000 might be a safe guess, but honestly, God knows how many we'll get next year. Either way, I recommend bringing blankets, plenty of water, at least a couple of days worth of food in case there's kitchen troubles, some sort of basic first aid kit too. It's a ways away from the nearest gas station, about 10 minutes, so something to clean up with is a good idea. Also, money. Set yourself a decent budget if you're planning on eating the Fallout themed food items and doing some shopping at the vendor stalls. It gets pricey out in the middle of the desert, and you'll see a lot of cool stuff that you want to have. The vendors are seriously talented artists making some awesome props. Oh, and if you have some bottle caps laying around, definitely bring those too. People often play poker and caravan, gambling with caps, and someone even brought a slot machine that takes caps. So cool. For the near future, I have plans for interviews with TKS Mantis, the Epic Nate, and the kind lady who is representing Obsidian Entertainment. She's the manager of Obsidian social media and makes some funny ass memes. Special thanks to that Fallout guy for the drone footage, and all the people who showed up and made this Fallout New Vegas Day so epic. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.